My name is Jared James. If you aren't familiar with me, I'm best known as an entrepreneur that gets the unique opportunity to coach and train agents and brokers in the real estate world and speak at conferences in front of thousands of people. But it wasn't always that way for me. What separates me from so many others is that I've actually done everything that I want you to be able to do. For that reason, this is the place to come if you want to learn the strategies needed to succeed in today's marketplace. This is the Jared James Today Show.
Hey everyone, Jared James here, and welcome to episode 18 of the Jared James Today Show. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like something that's said on here, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, make sure to subscribe, and more than anything, share it with somebody who needs it. That's the beauty of what we do. We have the ability not only to take in something for ourselves, but also share it with someone else who needs it. Today's topic, which I think is extremely important, we're going to be talking about, have you ever felt too busy to be productive? Now, this is one of those leading questions, right? Like I saw something, it's like one of those commercials for the drugs where they try to convince you they're for you and they go, are you ever tired when you wake up in the morning? Are you ever wet when you get out of the pool? Like, obviously those are leading questions. This is the exact same thing. Many of you have felt too busy to be productive, but I want to talk a little bit about how do we get over that? Because it's one thing to recognize a problem and then just run away. It's another thing to actually try to fix that problem, okay? Now, just as a result of what I do for a living, we talk a lot, especially lately. If you're watching this and you're in one of our coaching programs or you've been in a speaking event lately or something, I am really hardcore focused on these things called KPIs, okay? These are your key performance indicators. They let us know what are the actual things in our business that create revenue. What are the things that create business? What are the things that bring us to, whatever it happens to be, what are those unique identifiers that we want to identify and then follow through with? And one of the downside of doing that I've noticed from talking to so many of you on the road and online and on social and all these other things is that sometimes we can get so just cued into those KPIs. We get so into those KPIs that we don't recognize the other things that have to be done in our life. And then we create this life where we're just doing business, and then we start to wear down. And then we're not even sure what to do. And then there's this thing that just happens. And so one of the things we've been pushing with our students lately is not just understanding KPIs, key performance indicators, but then understanding your BUTs, your BUTs, your best uses of time. And if you're watching this and you're going, what's the difference? Here's the difference. KPI, key performance indicators, are specific to business. They are unique identifiers of what creates business. Now, best uses of time can have to do with business, but they encompass so much more. How do you figure out what your best uses of time are? There's a few different ways. The ways that you determine your best use of time, one way is to figure out what you need to be doing according to your role to others, okay? I had this, I was in a coffee shop and this lady walked up to me and she said, excuse me, she goes, are you Jared? And I said, yeah. And we started talking and she said, I watch your videos, whatever. And she goes, you know, I follow you on all the social channels. And she goes, I find it hard to believe how much time you're spending with your kids at sports things. And she goes, where in the world do you find time for that? She said, I'm a realtor, I'm selling real estate and I can't seem to find time and I get guilty and I don't know how to get to these events and go to where are you finding time for that? And that's where this all came from, was that I realized there's a little bit of a disconnect between the KPIs, the key performance indicators, and understanding that many times your best uses of time have nothing to do with business. They come from your responsibilities, your role to others. My role as a father is to be at games, is to throw it around in the backyard, is to help them read a book, do homework, do whatever it happens to be, because that's my role. And when I am neglecting those things that are best uses of time, not just KPIs, I'm not as effective with my KPIs. I'm not as fulfilled. I'm not as re-energized. And even when you look at the second way that you find out what your best uses of time are, you have your role to others, then you have your responsibility to self. Now notice I said role on the first one and responsibility on the second one. You have a responsibility to take care of yourself. If you're wondering why I do the did you sweat today on Snapchat and Instagram and all these things, how do I find the time, how does this? because I have a responsibility to myself, because I'm no good to anyone else if I'm not taking that time, okay? And so we have our role to others, which belongs on our calendar. We have our responsibility to self, to take care of ourselves, to get over our addiction to everybody else's approval, which if you're in the real estate industry is a big one, because you're a people pleaser. You put fires out. You want everyone to be happy. You want everything to run smooth. And in an effort to do good, you end up doing harm to yourself. So we have to look at, for best uses of time, your role to others. We have to look at your responsibility to self. And then we get into things like, what are my best uses of time to create revenue for my company? But those other two things first have to be taken into account. And the difference between these two, again, KPIs, strictly business. Best uses of time can include business, but again, I want you to look at the fact that that activity that you're doing, those KPIs you're following, you're never as effective if you're always running on empty or near empty. Think about if a car just drove 24 hours a day. Number one, it couldn't. It would run out of gas. Think about a battery pack. It would run out. Nobody can do that, and that includes us. I want you to remember this statement. Activity does not always equal achievement, okay? So most of you, the issue, whether you're a new agent, whether you're a more experienced agent, whether you're just in sales, whether you just watch me and you're an entrepreneur, most of you, your issue, for some of you it is, but for most of you, it's not work ethic. Okay? Your issue is not that you're not smart enough. Your issue is not that you're not working hard enough. Your issue is not a lot of these things that we would point at. And for many of you, that leaves you frustrated because you go, I'm working harder than that person. I'm working as hard as that person. Why are they getting a greater result than me? And usually it comes down to this principle. Activity does not equal achievement. Think of it like this. The person who jumps on a treadmill does no less work, exerts no less energy than the person who starts off in a 5K or a half marathon. They can run the exact same distance as that person, exert the exact same amount of energy, and yet not go to the same place. You follow that? And so the energy exertion is exactly the same, but one of them is heading in the right direction. One of them has a finish line. One of them is doing something completely different, and yet they're both exhausting themselves. One of them is getting to a destination. One is not. And that is, for so many people, the story of our businesses, of our lives, of our whatever it happens to be. The issue is not that we're not exerting energy. It's that we're running in place on a treadmill and not really looking at what are our KPIs, what are our best uses of time, and these are the only things that belong on our calendar. How many of you that are watching right now have ever gotten up and you said, finally, I have nothing on my calendar. I have so many to-dos to finally get to. Today's the day I'm finally going to get to them. And by the end of the day, you literally got 0 of them done. I wish I could see your hands right now. In fact, you know what? Hit like on YouTube, or if you're watching this on Facebook or wherever you're watching this, hit like if that's you, or if you know someone that that's happened to. It's all of us, right? And so the question becomes, why does that happen? Where does the people-pleasing start? So here's something I want you to start doing. I want you to start actually looking at, what are my KPIs? What are my best uses of time? And get them on your calendar. It's the old story of if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Some people think that if you put things with your wife, your family, your kids, your husband, whatever, on your calendar, that it's impersonal. No, it's just stupid not to. Like, it's just that simple. I mean, we have 3, 4, 5, 6 different calendars in here for me, for different people doing different things and because everything goes on my calendar and different people have access to different ones. But when I look at my main calendar, I see all of them because I need to know exactly what's going on, when it's going on, because the things that are important to me end up on my calendar. More importantly, the issue becomes if I don't do that, the things that are important to me will never get done, right? As soon as this is done, I'll do that. If you're waiting till you're ready, if you're waiting till you have free time, if you're waiting till, then I promise you, you're going to be in the same place you are right now, which is waiting, okay? So KPIs, best uses of time. on your calendar, activity does not necessarily equal achievement. This is a big one for so many of you watching right now, okay? If you enjoyed this right now, hit like, leave a comment, subscribe, share it with somebody that you know will benefit from it. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you connect, www.connectwithjared.com. Connect on all the platforms. We do different things on each one. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hey there, you, and I am talking to you in particular, person that made it to the end of my video. It means the world to me. But if you made it to the end, I'm hoping that you'll take a second and subscribe right here. Make sure you share that with all your friends, by the way. They're in real estate, sales, entrepreneurial, whatever it happens to be. By the way, if you're looking for a speaker for your upcoming event, click right here to get some more information. And as usual, if you have a question you want me to personally respond, just connect on social. You can click right over here and see all the platforms I'm on. I hope to hear from you soon. Have a great one.